When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson. I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. Have you ever asked yourself, am I the narcissist? It's one of the most common questions that I hear from survivors of covert narcissistic abuse. And there's a reason, okay? Here's why. Covert narcissists often use the very same words that you do. And they repeat them right back to you, and at times they mirror you. They accuse you of doing exactly what they're doing. They'll say things like, well, you never listen. And that's what you're saying. You always bring up the past, or nothing ever gets resolved. These are the very things that you are trying to communicate to them. And oh my gosh, this is screwed up. And you find yourself asking, am I looking at this right side up, or am I looking at it upside down? I have no idea. But here's the thing. The difference doesn't lie in the words. It lies in the intentions behind the words. I remember in my own marriage trying to explain that the words aren't the problem, but the attitude, energy, perspective, feelings behind them. That's what matters. Welcome back to the Covert Narcissism podcast, where we distinguish between I don't want to fight, said calmly in a search for peace, and I don't want to fight, emphasizing the word I to imply that you must be the one who does. Now, inflection, intention, attitude, energy, all of these things behind the words that are being said absolutely matter. And I want to look at just a few simple examples, ones that have nothing to do with covert narcissism, so that we can really understand this. So imagine two people saying these exact same words. One of them says, "What are you doing here?" And the other one says, "What are you doing here?" Well, the first one, "What are you doing here?" It's your best friend grinning ear to ear, surprised and thrilled to see you at a coffee shop that you don't usually go to. Their "What are you doing here?" is full of joy and excitement. But the other one, "What are you doing here?" I mean, that's a grumpy store clerk who thinks you're in the wrong place, that you're, behind a barricade you're not supposed to be. And so it's dripping with irritation and judgment. Same words, but completely different experiences. Let's take the words "nice job." Can be said very differently, okay? After your, kid finishes a school project, it can be genuine encouragement. Hey, nice job. But after you spill a drink and you get this sarcastic eye roll from your friend that goes, "Nice job." It's a very different, it's a very different, mm, it's the same words, but a very different meaning. Okay, let's look at the phrase, "Do you need help?" This can be from a kind neighbor who sees you juggling groceries, and it can be very caring and say, "Do you need help?" Or the other one can be a coworker watching you struggle with technology and they're making fun of you. Do you need help? Okay. Again, same words, very different worlds. Or how about that's interesting or that's interesting? It's not the words, it's the tone, it's the intent, it's the energy behind them. I'll give you one more. You can be asked, "Are you done?" Like a waiter in a restaurant, or from a sibling during an argument, "Are you done?" Again, let me add to this that the intent and the words and the tone matter. And body language, add body language to this, and you've got a whole nother level of meaning. In every situation, how you express yourself with your tone, your energy, your posture, and your movement matters. And today I want to help you see that difference because it's one of the main ways that covert narcissists use to get out of accountability. They might tell you, "Well, I didn't say it like that," or "That's not what I meant," when it is what they said and it is what they meant. They might say, "Well, I was just joking," and they weren't, because you can hear these things in the intentions, the inflections, and the energy. So in a relationship with a covert narcissist, you end up in a hall of mirrors. You hear your own words coming back at you, but twisted. They're not quite the same. You recognize your own actions reflected back to you, but weaponized. It's very disorienting, and over time, it makes you wonder, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm the one who's toxic. But the truth is, intention is everything. And let me show you what I mean. I'm going to give you several examples here. So, we're going to look at the words "we need to talk." Both you and the covert narcissist might say these four little words, "we need to talk." But when you say it, you're looking for that clearing the air, finding repair, reconnecting. Your heart is pounding. You've rehearsed it in your head how you're going to say it, and you're saying it with empathy and care. And so it comes out, "Hey, we need to talk." But when they say it usually means they've decided that you've done something wrong and you're in for a lecture now because they're about to rip you apart. It's going to be a guilt trip or a twisting of events until you're the one doing the apologizing. And so when they say it, it comes out, "We need to talk." Same words, very different worlds here. Another example is the phrase, "You never listen to me." How many times have you said that? How many times has that been said to you? Okay, but when you say it, it's because you're desperate to be heard. You've shared your heart, your fears, your perspective, your thoughts, your feelings, your desires, your dreams, your pain, and you just get dismissed over and over. You get ignored, you get shut down, you get pushed aside. So when you say it, you say, "You never listen to me." The emphasis is on the word listen in that sentence. "You never listen to me." Because while they may hear the words, they don't hear you. When they say it, though, it means you didn't agree with them. Listening to them isn't about hearing. They don't want to be heard. They want to be agreed with. They want you to accept their version of reality without question. And so instead of "you never listen to me," their way of saying it is "you never listen to me" or "you never listen to me." The emphasis is in a different place. So again, the same words, but very different worlds. One is a cry for connection, the other is a demand for compliance. And you can tell the difference. Your heart can tell the difference. Your body can tell the difference. Okay? You're not imagining things here. There is a difference. The example I used at the beginning of the podcast are the words, "I don't want to fight." Now this one is tricky because it can sound so peaceful, right? When you say, "I don't want to fight," what it means is I truly don't want to keep arguing. I want to be heard and I want you to be heard. I want mutual calmness here. I want peace and I want both of us to be validated. You truly are looking at this for both sides to win or both sides to meet in the middle. So what you're saying is, "I don't want to fight." But when they say it, it's often a shutdown tactic. "Stop holding me accountable. Stop asking me for repair. End the conversation now and on my terms." So what they say is something like, "I don't want to fight," clearly showing that if we fight, it's because you want to. Or maybe they say, "I don't want to fight. So now if we do, it's because you are making me." They use this as a facade to hide behind. I don't want to fight, but yet I'm about to rip you apart for everything you've ever done. But no, I don't want to fight, so you better not respond with anything other than agreement and apologies. Anything else, and you are the reason we are fighting, not me, because I told you I don't want to fight. Your I don't want to fight is an olive branch. Theirs is a door that got slammed in your face. Another example is the words, I'm sorry. Well, let's talk about apologies here for just a minute. When you say I'm sorry, it's heartfelt, you mean it, and again, you're looking for repair. You're open to learning and reconciling. You're trying to lean into them. You might even over apologize because you want peace so badly. So the words come out, I am sorry. But when they say it, it's often hollow. Maybe it's muttered under their breath, I'm sorry. Or maybe it's followed by the word but, I'm sorry, but. Or maybe it's simply a way to end the conversation without changing anything by when they say, I'm sorry, and you get full of attitude. Again, same words, very different worlds. Both sides say, I'm sorry, but only one side truly means it. And yes, you can tell the difference. The next example is silence. I hear so many people say, well, if I'm, gray rocking them, aren't I just giving them the silent treatment? Isn't it the same thing? And now I'm doing the same thing to them that I'm complaining about them doing to me. Silence is a powerful example because both of you might go quiet in this environment, but it's for very different reasons. When you go silent, it's usually because you've been shut down too many times. You're overwhelmed. Your system can't take it anymore. You're trying not to make things worse. Sometimes you're even trying to process your feelings before responding to them. But when they go silent, it's punishment. It's control. They make a show of being silent. They will sit, right in the middle of the room and cross their arms and make it very clear that I am not talking to you right now. It's to make you chase after them, apologize for something you didn't do, or sit in a panic until you beg for reconciliation. It's the giving you that feeling of, I'm in trouble.
All right, steak lovers, this one's for you. You know that moment when you slice into a perfectly cooked, melt in your mouth steak? Pure magic. And that's exactly what Heartland Steak Company delivers. Hand cut, Midwest raised, premium meat, straight to your door, because you deserve the best. Growing up in Kansas with a butcher for a stepfather, I learned what real quality beef looks like. When Heartland Steak Company sent me their steaks for my honest opinion, let me tell you, they absolutely delivered. They know their craft, and it showed in every single bite. Build your perfect steak box or grab a grill ready bundle. Either way, you're getting top tier flavor. And here's the best part: $25 off any order of $175 or more. Just use promo code WOMEN at checkout. So go ahead, treat yourself. Head to heartlandsteakco.com, load up your cart, and don't forget, promo code WOMEN gets you that $25 off.
I'm in trouble. What did I do now? Your silence is self protection, but their silence is a weapon. Another example is bringing up the past. Both of you bring up the past, right? Of course you do. The only way you're going to talk about what all you've been through is to bring up the past. But again, there's a difference. When you do, it's because things were never resolved. When you have all of this under the rug, all of these issues, all of these 1,000 bee stings or 1,000 paper cuts, whatever you want to call them, and they're all under the rug and nothing's ever been resolved, you're bringing it up hoping this time maybe we can find some healing. Maybe we can come to some reconciliation and some closure on some of this stuff. But when they do, it's not about healing. It's about control. They'll reach out into that vault and pull out your mistakes from years ago, not to repair them again. That's where the difference lies. They're not looking for repair. They're looking to shame you. They're looking to deflect. They're looking to win the argument. There's no repair because they're looking to win. It's a competition. And when two teams play in a competition, they don't meet in the middle. There is a team trying to win. There are two teams trying to win. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. There's no, hey, let's reconcile this. Maybe we'll agree to, just meet in the middle and call it a tie. No, there's competition. And that's what it's like when you're in these relationships with a covert narcissist. Them bringing up the past is because they're now trying to win the argument. Again, same action, Very different intent. So, do you see the pattern here? The words might be the same, the actions might look similar on the surface, but the intention matters. The capacity that's behind them are worlds apart from each other. When you bring up the past, your heart is saying, please, let's close this wound so we can move forward together. When they bring up the past, their mind is saying, here's more ammunition to keep you in your place. When you go silent, it's often because you're overwhelmed, trying to keep the peace, or needing a moment to collect yourself. But when they go silent, it's to punish, to make you chase them, or to hold power over you. Same actions, entirely different motivations. So here's the real dividing line. Survivors are motivated by connection and healing. You're seeking repair, you're seeking growth, mutual understanding, a place of vulnerability and safety. You want the relationship to work. But narcissistic individuals are motivated by control and avoidance. They are seeking to protect their ego, to maintain dominance, to dodge accountability, good grief, to never be vulnerable. One side says, I want us to be closer, but the other side says, I want to stay in control. Here's the deeper layer: capacity. Even if you hand a narcissist the exact script of what a healthy repair looks like, they don't have the emotional capacity to walk through this consistently. They can mimic it for a moment, for a little while, maybe even give you a breadcrumb of what you've been hoping for, but it doesn't last because it requires true vulnerability, humility, accountability. And those are the very things that they avoid at all cost. So the difference isn't just in the words, it's in the capacity to follow through. Survivors will apologize and then they try to change. But narcissists, they apologize, but they do it to reset the cycle, not to heal. Now they've reset the cycle. It's like they bought them more time now to go right back into their bad behavior. Survivors bring things up because they want closure. Narcissists bring things up because they want leverage. There's a huge difference. So if you find yourself asking, am I the narcissist? I want you to change those questions. Instead, I want you to stop and ask, am I willing to take responsibility when I've hurt someone? Am I genuinely seeking resolution? Or am I trying to silence and control? Here's the truth. Narcissists don't sit around wondering if they're narcissists. Okay? They just don't do it. That's not something that they're doing. They're not reaching out to me going, am I the narcissist here? These are not the people that I hear from. Survivors do. That doubt itself of whether you're a narcissist or not is evidence of your empathy. If you've ever been told that you can't let things go, that you're always bringing up the past, or that nothing ever gets resolved, I want you to remember this. It is not proof that you are the problem. It is proof that you are longing for repair in a relationship with someone who refuses to give it to you. The same words may come out of both mouths, but the meaning is very different, and the outcomes show that truth. Their intent is control, where yours is connection. So just check inside of you. What is your intention? What is your motivation? What are you after here? And that, my friend, makes all the difference. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. You have been listening to the Covert Narcissism podcast, where we break apart the insidious nature of these incredibly destructive and infinitely frustrating individuals. If you are caught up in this crazy making relationship and drowning in self-doubt, guilt, or rumination, please reach out to me anytime. I offer individualized live coaching in both group and individual settings. We can find the right program for you. You do not need to go through this alone. You can find all of that information on my website at covertnarcissism.com. You can also reach out to me by email at Renee, RENEE, at covertnarcissism.com. I do look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Remember, I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. I am a coach, and you are a survivor. The information provided by Renee Swanson, Covert Narcissism Podcast, and CNG Life Coaching is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes. It is not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. Renee shares stories from her personal experience as well as from those that she has worked with for several years. Her material does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or support a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and the information provided. Thank you.